Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing okay. I know it's been a little nutty and everyone's had to stand in lines for toilet paper and stuff like that. It's no fun. I just did it this morning. I was at my Henry Edward Butt. That's the name of our grocery store, HEB, Henry Edward Butt with 2 T's. They're doing a great job corralling these crowds over here. I live on the west side of San Antonio, so we got, it can get wild. It felt more like a heavy metal concert line. It did, honestly, than it did, and that could be because it's Friday. The last time I stood in line, it was a Tuesday, and the crowd was way more chilled out. So, but anyways, I just, so I don't want to really talk about what's going on outside of our homes, honestly. There's so much of that, and you know, there's no shortage of places to get that. So I'm just going to put out this little quick episode. I'll probably do a couple over the next coming weeks. You can just tune out the world for, there's a passing car. I'm just in my living room, so you're going to hear all kinds of weird stuff. Cars going by and dogs barking. Bird chirping, that's nice. But anyways, I just thought that maybe to break up the monotony of being stuck inside for myself and for you guys, I was just going to do a couple of quick episodes here. They're not going to be super super knowledgeable. They're not going to learn a whole lot about, well, I don't know, you might learn things you don't want to know about me. But honestly, the purpose of these is just to, if you need to tune out from what's going on outside of our homes for now, I get it. If you just want to take 10 minutes to just shut your brain off, this would be a good place to do it. And I hope that's what you get out of it. That's the only point here. Definitely stay informed and all that good stuff, and wash your hands and keep your distance, and definitely do all those things that they're saying in the news. And also, of course, and you've been hearing this from everybody, but if there's someone that's unable to get the necessary things they need, maybe help them out. Look at your neighbor. Just ask your mom or your dad, hey, you got everything you need, So that's the last, honestly, that I am going to talk about what's going on outside. I refuse to even say the word. Because it's scary times, and I just kind of want to deal with those things like I've always dealt with them, by cramming them way down inside and not worrying about them. That's what today's episode is going to be. Truly, these will be short because they will be dumb. And when I say dumb, I mean there's probably no real thing. In fact, I hit record not knowing what I'm going to talk to you about. Just wanted to take my brain off of things, and I wanted to help you guys take your brains off of things. And again, I do got a proper episode coming out. It's pretty awesome, I hope. It's got synthesizers and beautiful islands, so fun stuff. But until then, let's see, what the hell kind of... You know what, I'm sitting here in my living room and I'm staring at a 45. I don't have a ton of records. I used to have more. But yeah, I'm not one of those cool guys with a bunch of records. My brother Mike's got a whole room with all kinds of awesome eBay fodder. Every time I walk in there, I just want to tell him, how much money you got in here in eBay bucks? A lot. Anyway, but I'm sitting in my living room and I'm staring at an album called, and I'm going to get up and get it. Hey, Big Head. Big Head just came in the room. What are you doing, sniffing records? So I'm looking at a 45 that I've had for, years. Let's say about 20 years. But it is by a local band here in San Antonio called Sons of Hercules. And I think you guys have heard me talk about Sons of Hercules before. If you haven't, go check out the Taco Land episode. I talked briefly about them. But Sons of Hercules, especially the lead guy, his name is Frank Pulgasi? I'm going to call him Frank. He is sort of a grandfather of punk rock here in San Antonio. He was the lead singer for a band called The Vamps. And The Vamps, if you heard that Taco Land episode, is the band that opened up for the Sex Pistols when they came here. The Vamps opened up for them. So he's an elder statesman. In fact, Sons of Hercules is one of the first concerts I ever saw. I didn't really realize I was seeing a concert. We have this place here in San Antonio called the Riverwalk. And I don't want to talk bad about our city or anything. It's a lot nicer now than it used to be. But also, I don't want to use the word tourist. It's fun. There's some fun stuff there. There's some good restaurants. Really nice bars if you're into bars. But it is sort of a tourist trap-ish area. It runs right along the San Antonio River. And, it's not, you can hit all the hot spots there. Anyways, my point of telling you this is along the course of the river, what's that? I don't know. The path of the river. Is there a word for that? There is a theater, and it's great because the river actually separates it. It's called Arneson. Well, I don't know if it's still called this, but for years it was called Arneson River Theater. Now, the Arneson River Theater is cool because what it is it's like it's an outside concrete patio, and the band plays. Then the river is in front of it, like it's the river flows right in front of it, and on the opposite side of the river there is like this mini Coliseum seating. It's a wonderful venue, and if you're ever in San Antonio, and sometimes we just have folklorico dancers down there, or there's just some local cover band playing for Fiesta, which, by the way, if you want to come down for Fiesta, it's been moved to November, so plan accordingly. Anyways. So the Arneson River Theater, really, really nice place to go. Honestly, a lot of times if you're walking down the river walk, and it's a particularly nice day here in San Antonio, there's just people sitting out on the seating there, just chilling, because it's a nice spot to park. And so I saw the Sons of Hercules there. This was, it would have to be 1991, because I was with my very first girlfriend, and also her mother. And I should mention, I was 13 at the time. So I was 13 with my very first girlfriend and with my girlfriend's mother, who was very nice. And so this wasn't, again, necessarily my first concert, but I didn't realize I was seeing a concert. It was like a picnic outdoors. It was wonderful. And I was very excited to go, so I went and I picked out a cool outfit that I thought was worthy of, watching a cool local punk band. And I thought, well, my hair was like all fried out from bleaching it and dyeing it. I'm 13, remember? So what I did, right, was I took all the long hair in the front and I rolled them up like the things you stir coffee with, like about that width. And I did about 20 of them, and I hung them in the front of my face. I thought it was a pretty original look, and it was not so great, and there are no pictures, which is good. And when I got in the car with my girlfriend's mom, she was very quick to mention how my hair was interesting. And that's the term that people use when they don't want to say stupid, when they're being nice. And so we went to the concert, and it was awesome. It was great. There was little kids jumping and playing and dancing and spinning around. And so the Sons of Hercules are pretty important to me on a lot of levels, important to the city. They're one of those bands that they will peek in and out of my life. They'll pop up here and there. They're a local band, so they're bound to do that. In fact, when I look at this record, the first thing I think of is where I got it. So there's a college here. It's a local community college. We don't need to get into that. But they are the home of KSYM 90.1, San Antonio's only alternative. And they had, of course, students go in there, students that were in the radio, television, and film department. They would go in there and they would DJ. And then some of them would come up with snazzy names and some would not. Well, that very first girlfriend that I had, this is 10 years later, she grew up to be my wife. Well, I guess she didn't grow up to be my wife, but we grew up and she became my wife eventually. And one of her very good friends was a DJ at KSYM, but he was more there on a permanent fixture kind of thing. I don't know I guess he was a student there at some point. And his show was called Metal Onslaught, I believe. And it was, of course, heavy metal music. It was like death metal and stuff like that, real extreme metal stuff. Not a lot of Judas Priest or anything like that. And the gentleman's name is Tony, and he was a very cool guy, very nice guy. I met him once or twice. My girlfriend would go visit him sometimes there on the premises of KSYM. And he's no longer there at KSYM, so I think I can tell this story. He gave her just a bunch of 45s. I mean, when I say a bunch, like every time she showed up, she would come home with like 20. So I don't know if he was supposed to be throwing these away or just giving them away, but this record, Sons of Hercules, was one of those records that I got. And I've had it in my collection ever since. It's awesome. It's got a fantastic picture of an octopus ruining the stage. So fast forward to another 10 years, and I got to see them in Taco Land, which was great because it was like seeing a legend play inside of a legendary place. So the whole point of this story, actually, this is like a pointless story, but the first thing I think of, reason I put it out front, because it's a little basket of 45s here, and, I took this one out, and I popped it out front, was because lately, in the town where I live, where I'm pretty sure Frank of Sons of Hercules still lives, he shops at the same HEB. And I kept running into him at the store. Or not running into him where I'm like, hey, you're Frank, whatever. When I say run into him, I mean, I was in the store when he was in the store. We must just shop at the same time, you know. But by about the third, let's say fourth time, because I've seen him in the store, I want to say 4, 5, 6 times maybe, something like that. But the very last time I saw him, I actually found myself, I don't want to say following him, because I doubt he listens to the show, but if he does, that might weird him out. But I thought about saying hello, and I don't know why I thought I would be, because also, this is kind of a personal time. I don't like running into, acquaintance. I don't mind running into friends, right, or family at HEB, because they can look in your basket and judge, and they know how you live. You got all the processed meats, and you got weird stuff in there. You don't have to explain to them. When you run into like casual acquaintances, it's a little. I find myself guarding my basket. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't look in my basket. Just because I got some kind of foot powder in there doesn't mean I got foot problems. Maybe I just like, the way it smells. My point is, it's a vulnerable time to be standing in front of maybe a person that does not know you as intimately. So that was my reason for not going up to who I thought was Frank and going, hey man, you're Frank from Sons of Hercules. And I wanted to because, I don't know how you would convey in 10 seconds that, how much you've, I want to say kind of influenced, or how much you, that I was a fan. I don't know. I think that would have been a weird time because I have said hello and, thanks for the show to musicians in the bathroom of the venues we played at. They were very nice to me at the urinal, and I didn't think about it until afterwards that maybe that was weird. But here, I know definitely that it's odd to go up to someone and be like, you don't know me, but I like your music. And he's standing there with the basket of, and I did see that he drank Coors beer. So I guess if you know Frank, and you know that he for a fact does not drink Coors beer, then, that's not Frank Pugliese. But if you do know him and you listen to the show, maybe you can let him know that I think he's cool. Anyways, I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. Probably just a couple. They'll be short. And again, the whole purpose of this is to tune out the scary stuff, to take a break from freaking out. Of course, like I said, stay informed and stuff like that. But you gotta break away every once in a while. And this was real nice to be able to stop thinking about what's going to happen next for a couple of minutes. And I appreciate you lending me your ears, fellow Earfoolians. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I will have a new episode coming out pretty soon. And I don't know, if you get bored, go check out the Patreon page. There's something there. Take care, guys. Love y'all a bunch. We'll see y'all later. Bye.